Whoops. Sorry. I thought I had that framed all perfectly to go live immediately, but let me come down a little bit. Sorry about that. Now we're live. Although I don't expect many people to watch this live on YouTube, I don't think, but I'm doing it anyway. And I'm going to tell a story that I just told on Facebook live. And I just wanted, yeah. So this happened last night. I love the street preachers with the big signs and the bullhorns, those specifically. The first Mardi Gras I spent in New Orleans, I had to go to the corner of Bourbon Street and Canal Street. And I wanted to see, just what goes on, like the center of craziness of Mardi Gras is like right there. Canal Street and Bourbon Street, like the two worlds of craziness collide right there. And I've told this story many times, but I'm telling it on YouTube now. And I that day there was the street preachers with the big signs, and there was this one guy on the bullhorn, and there was a parade going by, and the parade theme was something movie related because every float was a movie title. And this guy with the bullhorn was working each movie title into his sermon as it went along. And for example, he said, all your days will be days of thunder when you're burning in hell. You'll all be gone with the wind on Judgment Day. There are a few more that I used to know. Those are the only two I can think of right now. But he was doing it consistently, and it was pretty entertaining to me. I was still drinking at the time, and Alicia, and I don't remember who the second person was, but there was Alicia and someone else, and they were literally trying to pull me away. And I would not leave. I was like, nope, I'm with this guy. This is amazing. This is the craziest thing. I love this so much. And the moment that stood in my mind from that whole thing was, of course, it came where I was looking up the street, like, what's the next float? And this guy, I'm like anticipating what's he going to do with that one. Was it? And up the Canal Street comes the float for the movie Hoosiers, which was a movie. I don't remember what it's about or anything, but I was excited because it seemed like a stumper. Like, what's this guy going to do with Hoosiers? Hoosiers? Like, and he did not disappoint. Praise Jesus. He said, "Who's your savior? Jesus Christ. That's who." Glorious, glorious. I don't really remember the rest of that whole little scenario, but I remember that much of it. And it instilled in me at that point, and I've done it every year. At some point during Mardi Gras, at some point like the last weekend, the last 4 days, I go and find the religious people with the big signs on Bourbon Street. And it's the same group of guys. I've seen them for so long that I kind of recognize some of them. They would never introduce themselves to me. They won't give me their names, but I recognize them. And I think some of them recognize me because as people know, the people who know, regardless of what I'm wearing, will recognize me. It's weird. It started off like when I first moved to New Orleans, I still had like the rainbow wig. I still had hair, and I would go home and I would like get all dressed in clown, and like pop out my little door in the Treme and just kind of wander the streets. And then I'd come home and take it all off, and I felt there was like this disconnect and anonymity to it, which I've totally lost at this point. Like the weird anonymous creepy clown wandering the streets is such a part of my like iconography that no matter what I do, it's like, oh, there's Glitter, oh, there's Jay, like people recognize me at this point. So I think even those the guys with the signs recognize me. Hello, are you back? Did you go to Zach's?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm still live.
Look what I got. For Skins and Bones, I got a new mug.
Wow, that looks very heavy.
It is very heavy.
We can't really parade with that.
No, but it's gonna be fabulous for ritual and stuff.
Cute though.
Hi everybody in
YouTube. We're on YouTube.
YouTube land.
I did a Facebook Live post, and now I'm doing a YouTube Live. I'm telling the same story on Facebook and YouTube. I haven't got to that yet, but we're getting there. So, anyway, all that's to say that it's been a thing for me, for the 20-something years I've lived here. I moved here in 97. It's 19, so 22 years. For 22 years I've been here. Every year at some point, I go hunt down those people, the religious people. And I remember one time I actually found them getting out of their car like when I still lived in the Treme. They were getting out of their car like a block or two from my house, and I was leaving my house in Clown, and I just sat just questioned them on like every piece of their signage, because I like to talk to them, but only about their signs. Like that's my thing. Like as much as they want to talk about Jesus, I want to just discuss their signs. Like what font is that? Who chooses the color? Where do you get them printed? What size is that? Like just anything about their signs is what I want to talk about, and they want Jesus. But I go find them all the time, and I just sit and listen to them, and I had to talk to them. They usually won't actually kind of converse with me. They don't converse with anybody. They'll sit there, I don't scream out, and he'll kind of reply a little bit. So a few days ago, Salamander is in town, and I've spent lovely time with Salamander the past few days, and Salamander and Thugsy and I decided that we would have a little clown night. We'd go to a little group clowning together. So we posted on Facebook, and Thugsy and I showed up across from the Golden Lantern. Randomly, some other clown showed up that we didn't even know. Like there was another clown meeting going on. It was weird. But ultimately, me and Kier and Rebecca Ray, Robert, and Salamander and his two little boys all went to just walk up Bourbon Street because it was my thing. I said, my goal tonight is to find the religious people and with the big signs, specifically with big signs, because I found another group before that, and I asked them, where are the people with the big signs? I need a bullhorn and signs if you're preaching Jesus to me. Sorry, no offense, but anyway. So that was my goal. I wanted to find the religious people and just kind of do what I do, just appreciate the religious people with the crazy designs and the bullhorn. And there are a lot of religious groups these days on Bourbon Street. There are a lot of religious groups. And at one point, there was the group with the signs and the bullhorns that I was like kind of with them. I was like close enough to them and talking to them or trying to talk to them that I was like in their little group. So I was with them. And then another religious group, like some youth group on a field trip or something, comes up Bourbon Street, and they form a barrier between me and the bullhorn people and everybody else. Then they start chanting something, God is love, or something, love, peace, something, whatever. I don't remember. They were chanting something. And he's still with the bullhorn. They're unaffected. They just, regardless of what happens, they enjoy the chaos. I'm convinced they love that just chaos. Why else do they do that? Why did they do it? That's my question, and I can't really know what they really get out of it. I mean, there's some weird people there to take your time to go do that. Yeah, that's the fascination for me. But so there's them, and then there's the youth group forming a barrier, and then up the block comes another religious group with the big cross. They're carrying one guy with a big cross, and he's got his little entourage passing out flyers with them. And as he's coming up the street, I'm telling the bullhorn guy, I was like, oh, here he comes. Here he comes. That's your friend. Remember, you've been talking about him. He's coming. He's right up the street. I don't think he was very amused. He didn't reply, of course. But there's just insanity. It just went insane. I made it through 3 different rotations of their street preacher. They passed off the bullhorn 2 times. And so I went through 3 different preachers in the time I stayed there. We stayed there about 2 hours, and it was amazing. The second guy up was, I think, my favorite. And he was rude. He was rude. The other guys were like, it's hard to say what the difference is. But he got very personal to people, and he like purposely got rude and personal. And one of the first ones that happened when he took the microphone was these people will come up and twerk in front of them, and I mean, people. The things that people do towards them is as mind blowing as they are towards everybody else. I think it's really fascinating to see. So this one woman came up and she like pulled off her shirt, and she was all like, yeah, party Bourbon Street, and they just want to offend the religious people, I think. And the guy who was preaching Jesus took a moment from his preaching Jesus to tell this woman that she had saggy titties. And the woman snapped. She went from like, Bourbon Street, sin, debauchery, to like trying to jump on the bullhorn man. The guy to his right hand was like, had to hold him off, and then her friends tried to pull her off because she was trying to jump on the man. She was mildly upset that he was like telling her she was going to hell, but she went out of her mind when he said she had saggy titties. That she could not handle. I found that very interesting. That was very weird. So the guy to the right hand, who's like the biggest, toughest, he's like the oh, whoops, I did something wrong. Whatever that is, let's just cancel that. Let's start with that. The guy to the right, who's like the little bodyguard of the bullhorn. Like even when they switched out preachers, he was always the guy who was like protecting that guy. He's like right there. So anybody who went towards the bullhorn guy, he's on them. And at one point, and he's the biggest, burliest looking one of them. He reached over and pinched my nose, and I was like, oh, "You can't do that. We're not supposed to touch each other. Boundaries. Remember, nobody's touching each other. Remember, respect." And the guy, the biggest, burliest bodyguard of the bullhorn, says to me, if you bring that nose over here, I'm going to touch it. I'll pinch it. If you bring that nose over here, I'm going to pinch it. Oh, yeah, that really happened. So I bonded with them a little bit. I think something's happened with me and them. They've come to at least recognize me, and I don't know. At least on some level, I feel like they've like acknowledged me. The nose pinching thing was amazing. But the thing that really made this story crazy for me was that in that craziness, as I'm just sitting there listening to him and replying, and he's like, every time he says something that specific, like, you're going to have for masturbation, and he says it masturbation, like, oh, that's me. If he says homosexuality, oh, me, that's me. The child molestation, oh, that's them. That's not me. That's them. Anything like I don't know, the other sins that are not particularly mine. I'm like, oh, that's them. But if it's mine, I'm like, oh, that's me. That's the one, me. And he's like, you need to repent. I'm like, oh, sorry about that. Sorry, dude. But I would reply to everything they're saying. That's the thing. And in this craziness, somebody, I think it was a guy, but I didn't even really look at the person, but they handed me, like in my hand, and they said, you're doing the real Lord's work. And I looked down, and somebody tipped me $100. Somebody tipped me $100 for standing there in clown, listening to the crazy religious people with the big bullhorn signs. It's mind-boggling. And I didn't really have an accessible pocket, so I held it in my hand, and then I handed it to Tugsy. And I said, I think somebody just gave me $100. I'm not, And yeah, as soon as we got to like a little side street after the craziness was over, the first thing I said was like, "Is that a real $100 bill?" It was in fact a real $100 bill. Somebody paid me $100 for staying. What? For just what? What? Um, I would like to know, in the power of the internet, if it's possible, who did that? Who gave me $100? And I could do other crazy stuff. I could annoy more religious people. I could what was it about that you love so much? I could do more tricks for $100. You know, back it used to be Glitter the Clown saying that I don't do tricks. I'm Glitter. I don't do tricks. I don't do tricks. But $100 trick. I'll do something. I'll figure something out, girl. I'm a clever clown. So yeah, tipped $100 for just that, standing there and listening to the religious people with the big signs, who I love, by the way. I mean, they fascinate me. I would love to like sit and have an actual conversation with them, like out of that, but I don't know how you'd ever find those people or but if they're out there, I am genuinely enjoy your work. Um I feel your passion. I don't necessarily agree with your goal all the time, especially your thing against the Catholic Church. Girl, you got a grievance against the Catholic Church. You need to let that go. You're all, I don't know what the Catholic Church did to you, but I also attended Catholic school for a time. And if you're one of those people that I see out on Bourbon Street annually and on all big occasions with the big signs, you know who I am. I'm the clown that comes and just hangs with you sometimes. I've never meant to be. I've never been rude. I've never been aggressive, and I've always been genuinely interested. I've always approached you with a sincere interest. Interesting. Interesting. I'll also have you know, if you're listening, that there have been years that I came to you in clown, and then I would come back out of clown and talk to you twice in the same day, and you never knew. And you treated me so differently, so differently. Even you, religious people, the signs, treated me so differently. But I do enjoy you. I'm still very curious with a lot of questions on the signs, like where did like what what do you get? Why do you have to have the sign? Like you wouldn't get my attention without it, but like where did it start? Why did it start? What's your main agenda with it? Who chooses? Who's paying for it? Like so many questions. But just on the signs, I think I know what you feel about Jesus. I know that part. I just don't understand the sign and the bullhorn thing. Like, and I actually get it. That's just it. Like it's so effective that it's got my attention for all this time. But I'm curious to the people with the signs. If you ever see this through the internet, the world of the internet, you actually see this. Hi, it's me. Um, to the person who gave me $100, girl, if that was worth $100, call me. How much money do you have? I can do all sorts of things. So it's Lundi Gras. We're gonna have the purple party. This is my outfit for the first purple party, directly from Salamander. Not sparkly, just super comfy, and it's got some purple in it. And the big outfit for tomorrow. Oh, he just fell over. Big outfit for tomorrow and Mardi Gras. Love you. Have a happy Mardi Gras 2019. And oh wait, I don't have to get up. I got this so I can do this. That's why I did this. And that's in the video. End stream. Bye, YouTube.